Have I broken my wrist? How to tell if you've broken your wrist or not. 39% of patients with wrist trauma have sustained a wrist fracture, according to Wallenkamp et al. 2015. So it is important to find out if you fractured it or simply sprained it. So other than an X-ray, can you tell if you've broken your wrist? In a study by Cevik et al. 2003, they found positive predictive values for the following. Edema, otherwise known as swelling. 95.2% likelihood of a fracture, a broken wrist. Localized tenderness, 67.3% likelihood of a fracture. Pain on active motion of the wrist, 77.3% likelihood of a fracture. Pain on passive motion of the wrist, 91.7% likelihood of a fracture. Pain with grip, 89.3% likelihood of a fracture. Pain in supination, which is turning the hand palm side up, 96% likelihood of a fracture. So if you have swelling, localized tenderness, pain on active and passive motion of the wrist, pain when gripping, and pain when turning the hand palm side up, then there is a very high chance you have fractured or broken your wrist. They also found that there were negative predictive values for the following. No pain on active motion of the wrist was 90.9% likelihood of no fracture. No pain on passive motion of the wrist was 89.5% likelihood of no fracture. So this means if you can move your wrist without pain actively or passively, then it is very likely to be not fractured or broken. Another method to work out the likelihood of a fracture is the Amsterdam wrist rules, which was found to be 98% accurate for telling you if you have a fracture, but only 21% accurate for telling you if you haven't got a fracture. Here is what the Amsterdam wrist rules are. Age per 10 years, sex, if male, swelling of the wrist, swelling of the anatomical snuffbox, visible deformation, distal radius tender to palpation, pain with radial deviation, pain with axial compression of the thumb. Now there is a very complicated equation to work out the exact probability of a wrist fracture, so for the purposes of this video we'll say that the more of these you have, the more likely that you have sustained a fracture or break of your wrist. Obviously if you're unsure, then get an X-ray. We want to keep making great content for our subscribers, so if anyone would like to support the channel by making a pledge, then we would be extremely grateful, and you can do this on our Patreon page here.